The second of two back-to-back events here in the Lone Star State. We're in Orange, Texas, the Gulf Coast of Texas. Welcome into the Bassmaster Halftime Show presented by Bass Cat Boats. We will catch you up and keep you up with everything that's been going on here in the Lone Star State. I want to welcome in all our viewers, whether you've been watching all morning on FS1 or you're just joining us for the first time. We are having an incredible championship Sunday. It seems like a stingy Sabine River where nothing was given, everything was earned here this week. It's showing up for Championship Sunday. And speaking of showing up, he's always part of it on Championship Sunday. And that is our reigning and defending Bassmaster Classic champion, Easton Fothergill. Narrowly missed your 5th Championship Sunday in a row by 3 ounces, not to rub salt in a wound.
It came oh so close, but yeah, I had a blast this week. You know, catching them a bunch of different ways, spinnerbait, flipping on a jig, all power fishing. It was a really good change of pace, and I really enjoyed it. It's fun fishing out there.
Yeah, it's been an interesting Championship Sunday so far. It seems like every day that we've done the halftime show, we're kind of waiting for things to develop. You know, slower starts from everybody. This morning, seeing what Pat Schlapper has done, absolutely a blast on a buzzbait. It's been a lot of fun to watch. And I think there's still some fireworks to come.
A lot of fireworks ahead. We've seen a lot of great action this morning. I mean, some of the baits that we've seen have been around since before you were born. You're 22 years old. I thought you're not supposed to be able to do this stuff. We've seen buzzbaits, spinner baits, a snagless Sally. How did you learn?
This is how I grew up fishing, man. You know, live scope didn't come around until I was a senior in high school, so fished a long time before it even came around. So it felt good to kind of shut the screens off and go to work on anything that looked good on the bank. It was definitely a lot of fun. Went to work
in a big way. In 3rd place now for Dakota Lithium Rookie of the Year. They kind of counted you out after that Florida swing. You're going to take those boys out. I mean, you got Tucker Smith and Paul Marks obviously ahead of you, the last 2 winners, but you're not going to let them take that title, are you?
I'm going to do my best now. We'll see. I'm going to, you just go out and do the best you can every event and see what happens. But, yeah, I'm having a blast. This is my rookie year, and, yeah, wouldn't rather be anywhere else. You know, it's a dream come true for me.
We love watching it go down. The 2nd youngest Bassmaster Classic champion in history. We're trying to see if Pat Schlapper finally wins an elite event here this week.
Well, we had a good morning. Slowed down quite a bit since then. I mean, I've had actually plenty of bites. I got 5, 1 small keeper. But I'm feeling all right. I mean, we're about to head up to where I did most of my damage the first day and see if there's anything left there. Just kind of get it out of my system, or if they're there, give it some time. And then we're just going to work our way back down and keep doing what I've been doing. And hope we run across one more good one. And we need one more 2-pluser for me to feel good about it. I feel okay, but this thing's, it ain't over. Like, they're biting too good for someone to not catch 12, 13 pounds today. But the good news is, for me, is like, most of them guys, that's what they got to catch, besides Kyoya and Coop.
Schlapper is kind of the working man's Elite Series angler. He used to manage a Shields store.
All right, you ready to roll?
Gave that all up and chased his dream. And we saw him get close last year at Toledo Bend. He's overcome a lot in the last year. Lost his 42-year-old brother at Smith Lake last year. And his family is just kind of salt of the earth people. You meet them and they're just what builds this sport, and they have overcome so much. And if he were to hold that title here today, it's just great to see some good for some people that have dealt with a lot of bad lately.
No question. And, getting the opportunity to spend a lot of time with Pat over the last few years, you and I talked about it. One of not only the nicest people on tour, but just a hilarious human being, just somebody that's such a joy to be around. And certainly super exciting to see him have such a great morning today.
Yeah, this is, came back up to Taylor's. We're quite a ways up. We started by the ramp this morning. We caught 5 pretty quick. Got 2 decent ones, then 3 we got to get rid of. I just feel like this is my best chance coming back up here and trying to catch, hopefully, 3 big ones. I've seen them throughout the week, lost a couple, caught one the other day. I just know it's my best shot. So I'm just gonna pick every square inch apart in this. There's about 2 stretches I've got, and then we're gonna run and gun and fish isolated stuff for the rest of the day, but we don't have a ton of time. It's already 10 o'clock. We got lots of time, but we better start catching them pretty soon. But I think if we can catch like 3 better than average ones, we'll have a pretty good bag. Yeah, I'm pretty fired up to just flip this jig for the next 3 hours. Yeah, it's a little different. The wind's blowing. The water's still, water hasn't changed. Honestly, don't think it can get muddier than what it is. They live in this stuff. They're river fish. They're used to it. Hopefully, we can dunk this jig on a 4-pounder's head here in a minute. I feel good. I feel like I'm doing the right thing. Yeah, I'm just fired up. We're here on Championship Sunday. It's been a good week. It's been stressful, but we're having fun. Hopefully we can catch a couple bigs. I want to win this thing bad. You don't get too many opportunities to be this close to a blue trophy, so we're gonna do everything we can to fish clean, try and get a couple big bites. I just can't wait for that next thunk.
Cooper actually believes that water quality, water color, being as bad as it is why he had that area to himself. Actually pre-fished it and said he left. Said he had a quick look at it and left, said it's just too dirty, looked for cleaner water. But went back, and obviously that area has delivered for him. Made a clutch move this morning at the last minute, you know, literally 7 minutes before takeoff. He looked at me and said, my whole plan has changed. The plan that he had when he backed down the ramp totally changed, and it's paid off.
That's so cool to see an angler like that make that kind of adjustment on Championship Sunday where you have that good of a shot to win. It's super cool to see someone just make a gut decision like that, you know, just super cool, and I could see it paying off for him. We'll see. It's cool. We have Coop, Kyoya, and Pat all, you know, they're all in the zone right now. They're all fishing really well. I think it's all going to come down right to the end of today. You know, we have the afternoon bite window opening up, so I think there's still some fireworks yet to come for sure.
Coop is definitely one of those anglers that it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. You know he's going to win one of these. He hasn't been around long. He's had some opportunities, but this is the closest he's ever been.
Yeah, Dave, to your point, I mean, it was a minute before the national anthem this morning. He said, right now, I just changed my mind on what I'm about to do, and certainly paid off for him, getting a quick limit. 2 days in a row, he's able to do that. Doing a lot of his damage on a 3/8 ounce outcast tackle cage fighter jig. Easton, you and I just talked about it on the live cast show. You kind of got dialed in on a jig deal. Talk about that as well, like how you figured that thing out.
Yeah, so I started this event with a Texas rig, black and blue rage bug, and I got back to the house after day 1, and I was just cleaning out my boat, getting ready to go, and I opened up the live well, and there's 3 like 5-inch long crawfish in there. They look like lobsters more than crawfish, like big ones. And that's what kind of clued me in on, I tied up a jig right when I saw that because, you know, they were keyed in on the bigger crawfish. And I really do think from then on it kind of made a difference. Got me some more bites because they were just keyed in on that bigger crawfish style bait.
A lot of crustaceans get eaten in this part of the world, whether it's by bass or humans. There's an excessive amount.
You don't have to look hard for a crawfish boil around here. They're pretty much every night, every square inch of this place seems like.
We'll continue to follow the action from the water. Cooper Gallant trying to chase down his first title. Easton, you've already got lots of titles, but I know you want lots more. 3 events ahead of you. Which one stands out to you? Which one are you looking forward to the most?
To me, lacrosse is the one that sticks out the most to me. It's another fishery. You know, there's bigger fish than the Sabine River, but it's the same style. It's not always easy. It's kind of a grinder at times, and it's just so diverse. So I'm really looking forward to that one, and it'll be a lot of fun. The last 3 events will all be fun.
Yeah, great. Great final 3 events we got ahead. We got 10 Killer, we got Lake St. Clair, and then we're going to finish it all off in La Crosse, Wisconsin, as you said. And it's going to be fun watching you battle it out for Dakota Lithium Rookie of the Year. It's going to be fun watching the rest of your career. I'm starting to realize you're pretty good at bass fishing, Easton Fothergill.
Well, I appreciate that, and thanks for having me on.
Always great to have you on. We're going to be joined by another guy who's pretty good at bass fishing, Robert G., as he continues to fight to get back to his hometown of Knoxville, Tennessee for the 2026 Bassmaster Classic.
Since 1975, T.H. Marine has been the leader in boat parts and accessories, powering every journey on the water. From trim handles to jack plates, we've built a legacy that keeps you running strong. T.H. Marine, built for life on the water.
There's a big one in the reeds ahead. I know it. He doesn't care who I am, what titles I have, how many blue trophies I got, that I've fished since I could walk, or that I've spent countless hours on the water for this moment. It's me versus the fish, and I like to win.
Introducing Live Ops from Nomad Design. Equipped with our all-new adjustable technology, allowing you to insert tungsten balls to unlock hundreds of rigging options. Control the action, control the sink rate, and increase your bait's visibility on forward-facing sonar. Dial in your own finesse approach and stand out from the rest with Live Ops.
So we're not all professional anglers. We don't all compete on the biggest stage. But inside us all burns the same fire to be a champion. It's why you get out early, brave the toughest conditions, point the bow toward adventure and put the hammer down. For whatever trophy or fish or memory you're chasing, count on a Mercury Pro XS outboard, engineered to deliver the speed and reliability you need to power the champion inside you.
The newest addition to the Flashpoint line, the D version. Having a jerkbait that gets down to that 10 to 12 foot range is a must. The reason I'm grabbing or picking up the Flashpoint is because of that blade right there. It does 2 things. It provides flash, the most important thing. It's a different Flashpoint under the water that the fish haven't seen. It's a small, unique profile that mimics a small bait fish. The deep will get you down to that 10 to 12 foot range and reach those deeper suspended fish.
The Yamaha VMAX V6 SHO continues to deliver the level of performance that pro bass and multi-species anglers demand. Underneath a bold and aggressive new look, an upgraded charging system with 40% more charging power meets the amped-up demand for today's advanced electronics. The VMAX SHO, raw power, reliability, and exhilarating performance for every angler who loves the sport enough to invest in the best. Yamaha, reliability starts here.
But happening in every single tournament, Bassmaster Falcon Rods Drain the Lake Fantasy Fishing Challenge. You pick one and they're done. You can't pick them for the rest of the year. Kyle, Jesse, tell me about it.
Yeah, absolutely. You get to select 8 anglers per event, and once you pick that angler, you can't use them the rest of the season. In my opinion, it takes the most strategy because you want to pick, each specific angler for the tournament you think they're best suited for. You get double points if you pick the winner. So picking the winner of the event's a big deal, and at the expense of possibly sounding like Ronnie Moore, I'm killing it in Drain the Lake this year. Absolutely killing it. 100th in the world. I'm on fire.
All right, well, I'll put
Robert.
you in an uncomfortable position while we're joined by Rob G. Have you picked Rob G yet? And what fishery did you pick him, or where are you saving him for?
I don't know if I have or not, but I think if I have not to this point, I'm probably saving him for St. Clair would be my best guess. And it's possible that I've already used him. And if I did, chances are, based on my results, he did well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know if he's picked me yet, to be honest. I'll have to pick on Kyle right now. He didn't pick me as a college All-American back in the day, so I'm kind of still salty about that.
Clearly, you're bringing it up. How long ago was this?
Oh, probably 4 or 5 years ago.
And that's really held you back in life, that he didn't pick you as an All-American? Mm-hmm. Well, I would have picked you this week as a great finish, 24th place, and this one was not easy for anybody.
No, not at all. After day one, I was in 68th. So from coming back all the way from 68th to 24th it's a great week in my opinion. If I could figure out how to catch him on day one this year, I would be doing fine, but that's been my downfall, is the day one curse.
Let's get out in the water right now with a guy who hasn't had a lot of curses, sitting in 3rd place in our Progressive Bassmaster Angler of the Year, Kyoya Fujita. A tough championship Sunday last week, obviously. But wow, he is answering a lot of questions for people that would have said, Kyoya is a forward-facing sonar guy. He can't catch him without that. He has definitely proved that this week and is trying to turn last week's tears into triumph here on the Sabine River.
Yeah, how about the quote-unquote scopers this week? I feel like we got a few of them in the top 50.
Yeah.
A lot of the commenters on Facebook and Instagram, you'd never think it with what they say.
Well, welcome to a new segment here on the halftime show we called The Airing of the Grievances. Go right ahead, Robert G.
It really has been fun to watch Kyoya this week, though, because, we don't get to see this much from him one way or another. At the end of the day, it's a competition. So using forward-facing sonar or not, you're going to naturally do whatever it takes to catch a best. But, to see him have the ability to flip all week long and then use, the thing that's been the most intriguing to watch for me is seeing the power finesse deal that he's been going on with the spinning rod. It's a spinning rod. It might look finesse, but it is far from finesse. He's basically using a Nico rig, as a flipping bait, essentially, and he's not taking it easy on him, much like Lake Fork. Basically straight hook set into the boat with a spinning rod.
Yeah, he's using 28-pound test with his spinning rod.
It's not so much finesse, more power if you're 28-pound test.
For sure.
What's he got so far, Kyle?
He has 4 for 512 so far on Bass Track.
Lost a key fish earlier on that spinning rod. Had it literally behind a boat in between basically the break wall and a boat. Tried to lift it up and she gone.
Certainly still has plenty of a chance. Just 4 or 5 back right now from Pat Schlapper.
How days going so far? Each day so far. You got 2 lucky bites. I don't know if we're on a good bank or bad bank. We'll catch one here, we're catching one there. There's a little scrape of them back there. I think we need to go back and check, but it has not been a bad day so far. We've caught a few fish. We're catching a few bass. We're a dang good one away from being at A-OK. You know, making some money this week. 1 bite. Well, we got the rest of the afternoon to do it. We saved ourselves this morning and didn't make the run. I mean, I thought we'd fish out of our fish and decided to stay close, and so far it is panning out. We just need
I know this is going to shock you. We saw him catch a big fish just a little while ago in a spinnerbait. He put it in a 212. It looked at least a pound bigger than that.
I was just going through the numbers here and trying to figure out what he might actually have, because it says 614. Usually add a couple pounds.
Yeah, I would say he is 814 if he has 614. Biggest sandbagger I know.
What I like about him is he commits to the sandbagging. I mean, most people sandbag on the water, and then when they're, you know, by the time they're backstage and in the troughs, they tell the truth. He will look at a grown man and tell him, I have 14 pounds. Walk up those stairs, and I will scream 28 pounds.
Oh, most definitely. Last year at Toledo Bend, he told me I had 21 and weighed 31.
You heard Patrick mention it there, but I think that was one of the most interesting things this morning, is seeing how many guys stayed close. You know, a lot of the guys going to the Taylor's Bayou area the first 3 days, and the water, you know, getting the chance to talk to John Cruz this morning, he said the water here, you know, close to takeoff in the Sabine River, starting to look better. He was going to make a move, and turned out half the field stayed close to start with. So certainly something to keep an eye on the rest of the day.
We'll check in on John Cruz right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, we changed gears, trying a different game plan, and we're about 0 for 4 so far on our stops. Just like another practice day, really. The Sabine is clearing up, getting back down more to a normal level, so I figured they'd start biting a little bit better over here. It has not happened yet. We've caught a lot of tiny bass. Caught some tiny bass. We have 1 small keeper. We had 1 or 2 possible other keepers on that did not attach their lips well enough to the hook to stay hooked. So we're just going to keep plugging along. There's some other productive areas that we're gonna check and look at. If one of them's popping off, I mean, we could make hay in a hurry, and that's what it's gonna take. We run into the right area, you know, it could be real good. Not happened yet, so we're just gonna keep plugging along. See if we can run into them. Haven't done it yet. Just kind of alternating. We've got a ton of rods on the deck.
A lot of anglers have talked this week about that water quality and why it has grouped you guys up together. Why do you think we had so many anglers that right away said, hey, it's starting to look better? What are they looking for specifically?
So I fish the Sabine every day, all 3 days, and I noticed that in the morning time when the tide was lower, before it rose to high tide, that's when the fish were just chomping. That's when you could really make hay in a hurry. And like, that was the key for me this week, was the morning bite. From blast off till 9:30 until that tide got high, that's when you really had to lock in and fish as hard as you could to get as many bites as possible, because after about 10 or 10:30, when the tide got high, water seemed to muddy up even worse, and it just got a lot tougher to get a bite. So if the water is not over the docks at the boat ramp right now, I feel like they should be biting a little bit better here on the Sabine. It seemed like when that water was lower, they would bite a lot better.
A good visual there of just how close John Cruz is.
During the live cast show, at one break, we turned around and he was fishing right over our shoulders. So certainly been close by here for a good little while. John Cruz, as we've mentioned all week, has, you know, as good of a track record here at the Sabine River as anybody, and, you know, claims that a lot of that has to do with just staying positive and having the right mental attitude. Your first experience here, what was that like? How hard was it to stay mentally focused, you know, despite the tough conditions?
Yeah, that was kind of the game of the week, was staying mentally focused, because out here it was 90 degrees, the humidity was unbelievable, so it was really easy to spin out, but you just had to keep grinding and keep winding away at them, and you know, eventually you'd run into a little zone where you could get a few bites, and that always kept me going forward.
You're an athlete at peak performance, right? Well hydrated, ready to, I mean, how'd you prepare for this event?
A lot of Gatorade.
Yeah,
a lot of Gatorade and water.
I'll get it done. Get it done. As John Kruk once said, I'm not an athlete, I'm a ball player. He's a pro angler. Robert G., it's always great to hang out with you. Thank you for being part of the show. And we've got another great guest joining us, Elite Series rookie Dakota ebare. And who's going to win this tournament, Robert, real quick?
I think Schlapper's going to win. He's got a pretty good bag already, and he was leading, so it's hard to make a comeback later in the day here.
Trying to go wire to wire, Pat Schlapper, a former Bass Nation national champion.
That could be 100,000.
The Prodigy prevails and wins Lake Okeechobee. Let's go! John Garrett goes wire to wire. Fifth Lake belongs to Takumi Ito.
Got big. Let's go!
Bassmaster Classic champion, Easton Fothergill.
Eastleigh Fish dominate. The best of the best just got better. Clearer images, sharper resolution, improved target separation. That's right, better. LiveScope Plus, only from Garmin.
Have you considered purchasing new electronics for your rig? The type of mounts you choose to protect your investment should be part of the decision-making process. No matter if you prefer 1, 2, or 3 graph mounts up front, Beatdown Outdoors has a solution for you. Adjustable, versatile, rigid, and made in the USA. What's your ultimate electronics setup? Check out the full selection of Beatdown Outdoors products, and remember, you can't beat a beatdown.
The newest addition to the Basscat STS family is here. Introducing the Caracal STS, showcasing aggressive styling, paired with enhanced performance and a continued dedication to raising the bar. Measuring in at 20 feet 2 inches with an ultra-wide 96-inch beam and rated for a 250 to 300 horsepower engine, the Caracal STS boasts agility and speed and is finished with premium features to satisfy any angler. Basscat Boats. Feel the rush.
Stand by. See you later, 9. Oh, it could be 10. Oh, what a bite. Oh, buddy.
It's a 10 pack.
That's a giant. That's like a steam weapon, actually. What a nice fish.
It's the moment when everything is on the line and precision, power, and control make all the difference. A moment over 20 years in the making, anchored on loyalty, trust, and support that goes beyond all expectations. A relentless pursuit of perfection. All born from a revolutionary idea to help you rule the water. Power Pole.
I want to welcome you into the Bassmaster halftime show presented by Basscat Boats. Championship Sunday, the final day of competition here in Orange, Texas. Started with 102, 50 went out yesterday, and only 10 remain, all of them with their eyes on one prize, and that is the 6th Elite Series title of the season, the Maxim Tire Bassmaster Elite, here on the Sabine River. Nothing was given, everything was earned here this week, and a guy who earned his very first semifinal Saturday cut, Dakota ebare.
Thanks for having me, man. It's an honor to be here. Glad to finally make a cut. Wish I'd have been fishing today, but that's fishing, you know.
By the sounds of things, I mean, you've spent a lot of time in this general region, not just on the water, but you were part of the soiree of people having a party here last night.
You know, this is event number 6, first cut. It's been a long year, man. You know, and I really can't explain it, honestly, but that's beside the fact. But, yeah, I had a bunch of family here in town, and we decided to come join in with the show and enjoy the night. And it was really good, man. I mean, there was a ton of people here, the entire community, everybody showed out, and you could tell they really enjoyed it. You know, it was just a great concert, and we had a good time, man, really did. Everyone else did. I think a lot of people had a lot more fun than we did. I mean, there was people having a time. They had a whole crew over here on the Bassmaster stage. They made residence on it, and I think they had the best seat in the house.
Yeah. We had some people just wake up a little while ago. They were getting ready for weigh-in, I assume, but maybe not. But it's glad that they were safe. Let's check in with a guy who just snuck into that top 10, Patrick Walters. He's dangerous anytime he's in the mix.
Oh, my God. It kind of surprised me to see him stay here, because I was fishing around him the whole time in Taylor's, and he was doing something a little different, I think, than most guys, targeting isolated structure and stuff off the bank, using a drop shot, kind of finessing them and stuff. And it seemed like maybe that stuff would reload more. The bank just got so blown out with all the boat traffic. That's what really hurt the flip and bite some. Obviously, guys are still successfully doing that, but you're not getting nearly as bites as what you once did. But just because I think those fish got tired of all the boat waves constantly thrashing around the grass that they were in. But Patrick was fishing stuff off the bank, you know. It seemed like more than anything when I seen him. And so you'd think that stuff would hold up for him, you know, more, but
yeah, Taylor's a lot less pressure, obviously a lot less anglers, but a bunch of anglers didn't make the run that have been making the run.
Yeah, I think that was one of the most surprising things this morning is, you know, everybody in the top 10 that was fishing in the Taylor's Bayou area, you would think they would all go back just to have more space. Sure. But it seemed like a lot of the guys, like you said, decided to stay close.
Yeah, that is interesting. Austin Felix actually told me that in the line, too. He said, if you can make top 10, he's like, you need to go back, which I probably wasn't going to go back if I did, but because I had another plan. But Austin said that in previous tournaments, whenever he's top 10 there, surprisingly, you think you've caught them all out of there, but with the less pressure, less boat traffic, all of a sudden it's really good again on day 4, and we can see that kind of happening now for Schlapper, you know, and some of the other guys are there catching them. I mean, there's still fish there.
A big mover that has worked to earn this top 10. David Mullins has had a lot of tough tournaments here in the Sabine River. But not this time around.
Mentioned yesterday that he was thrilled to finally get to see one of the semifinal Saturday crowds. Dakota, what was, oh, David Mullins hooked up.
Yeah.
That'll be his third keeper, assuming it keeps, but Dakota, getting to weigh in front of that crowd yesterday, what was that like? I imagine that's got to be an angler's dream.
Man, it was awesome. You know, it was kind of a little humiliating considering I didn't have a bass.
Sure,
conflicted in your situation.
But you know what? I had so many friends and family that were here to support me. You know, and I could not walk across stage. And thank the town of Orange for having us. I mean, how awesome! I mean, this event should set the bar for every Elite Series event. I mean, this is just amazing the way that they put on this event and the crowd comes and everybody just enjoyed it. I know I have close family friends that are here. They're actually here right now, but you know, they have 2 little kids and they've enjoyed the carnival. You know, and their 2 kids have had the best time. You know, they'll never forget this event, and so it's just awesome to see everybody interacting and having a good time. So it was awesome to be able to walk across that stage, even though I didn't have any bass, and just experience it. You know,
absolutely.
And it's so crazy because I watched him flip that fish out of that grass mat right beside those pipes, and I can't tell you how many times I flipped those yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, man, it's just kind of one of those things. And when you're fishing around that many people, you're all running the same water, and it's crazy the little nuances. Though, I mean, he did something a little different at the right time that they got those bites. And yesterday, it seemed like, man, I did everything under the moon to try to get a bite and just could not get one. You know, it was one of them days. You know, but. Man, this place is really fun, honestly. I mean, guys have complained about it, but we've had a really good derby here. You know, whenever you got to, you know, really grind to get those extra ounces and stay focused, I mean, that's what really separates guys. And these guys that are fishing on top 10 today, you know, they've earned it. Whoever wins this event, not to take anything away from what Tucker did at Fork or anything like that, but this is a good old-fashioned derby. And you need one of those every once in a while, I think.
Yeah, I just think it's a little evil to go from Fork to here. I mean, if we'd have gone the other direction, it would have been a less mentally abusing to you guys. But that being said, as much as the wind has blasted here this week, Fork would have been a whole different story.
It would have been
if it's windy like that here right now.
It would have been. You know, every tournament has its unique. You know, and that's what makes it fun, really.
We're in a new area. Pulled in here and they were just blowing up schooling, but I think there was a bunch of little ones. Caught a few of them. But we're about to go real fishing. I don't know if y'all had enough frog bites yet, so we're gonna do that. Came in here and practiced, and the water was like actually low enough. The past few days we've had that high tide, and it's been way just all up in the bushes, and I don't think it was right. I don't know. I ain't checked it since practice. I had like a 4-pounder blow up on a frog in here and a bunch of those little ones, but might as well. I want to catch something on a frog.
I like some frog footage. Told me this morning he was fueled by donuts and destiny this week.
We're going to have to keep a count on the number of Celsius he's drank.
Yeah,
because this morning
is he sponsored by Celsius? He's working pretty hard for him, I think.
I don't know. He crushed one this morning at takeoff, and it looks like he's already on to the second one.
He's on the 2-a-day plan at least. Well, it's all right. It's not even noon, so he's probably on pace for 4.
That frog is going to be dancing across the top of the water.
Always tried to get a deal with another beverage company, and that never really worked out, so I guess he's moved on to Celsius.
Easton's working on the rain deal right now. Easton's on 3 rains a day. He's 22 years old. I said, Easton, if you're drinking 300 milligram of caffeine energy drinks a day at 22, you're not on a good pace, buddy. he literally ordered them by the case. Like, he had a case of rain. Shelby was like, what is this 30-pound package that's at the door? We were at the Pasquotank River, and it was a case of rain. And they went through it pretty quick, too.
Well, trying to keep up with Kenta. No joke, he drinks 8 or 9 energy drinks a day. I'm waiting for him to explode on stage one day.
Did you? No, I did. Did you do the same thing? Oh. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, she's good. I couldn't ask for a better one. That might be a big one. It's a good one. Get up. Oh no! Freak. Freak. It's a good one. Over 2 pounds. Dang, that sucker bit so hard too. Well, I can't complain. That's the first one I've lost this week.
Ouch. That is painful.
Yeah, that hurts. I mean, that hurts bad here. Those bites are gold.
It's all good to right there.
You know, and it's crazy. You look, he's going to look back and say, I shouldn't have done that. But, man, you do that every single day in practice or when you're fun fishing. That fish never comes off. And it's just tournament day.
Bam, 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 bam.
Tournament day stuff, man. It just happens. Got him a good tree there.
Found a little hot tree. Found a hot tree. The other one would have eat this one. The Yamamoto Sensei worm. Several of them up there. The bad thing is we've got to pull the ruler out on these things. He's 14. We're heating up. Golly, that other one would have been nice, wouldn't it? Yep.
A little redemption for Mullins there.
That was something I did not do, was like finesse them, you know. And that was probably my, you know, that's what got me yesterday. They gotten so pressured. These guys still throwing drop shots on a little bit more finesse stuff. It looks like Kyoya's using like a Nico or something like that. I was straight rage bugging them the whole time, you know. And whenever you got around one that wanted to bite, it, you know, was good. But obviously this is, you know, something I kind of missed. And I can see that now. And that's important, you know, to be able to reflect and know what you did wrong. And
yeah, I mean, that's a big part of the process. And
you bet.
I'm expecting big things for you ahead. I mean, you got your first cut out of the way. It took longer than you probably expected, than many expected. But, man, doesn't matter how you start. It's all how you finish. You got a lot ahead of you.
It was a step in the right direction, you know, for sure.
Well, I got good news for you. Guess what? You made another cut. You're going to stick around for another segment. Dakota, ebare not going anywhere, and I hope you guys aren't as well, because we'll continue to catch you up and keep you up here on the Bassmaster Halftime Show. The story right now is the story that's been the same since day number 1 with 38 pounds, 15 ounces. Pat Schlapper is trying to chase down his first ever Elite Series title and do it wire to wire.
Professional angler Jason Christie knows the performance and feel of a reel in his hands is very important. And that's why he designed the new Spro JC Elite and JC Elite MG Baitcast reels to achieve both of those goals. The reels have 4 gear ratios for any technique, and the frame of each reel is the same size. So no matter which speed you use, they feel the same. 9 bearings, long casting, and loaded with power. Give the JC Elite and JC Elite MG a try this season.
It's definitely a lot colder today.
Man, I really need to make this cut. I need to make up points quick.
Positive mental attitude.
I hope they stay where I found them.
Are they even pulling water?
Too far. And I hope nobody else.
Man, it's too windy.
The water's too high.
Avco, keeping you comfortable on the outside, no matter how you're feeling on the inside.
25 years as a touring professional, I have depended on Gamakatsu my entire career to produce the sharpest and the strongest hooks. Known as a power fisherman, but yet if you're going to survive as a tour level pro, finesse is becoming more and more popular, regardless if we go north or we go south. So when you're choosing a hook, choose Gamakatsu. They have one for every technique and every body of water that you fish on.
Lights. Sonar. Action. Tired of waiting? See more action with world-class fish finders and sonar from Lowrance.
Discover the hidden gems and pristine waters of Tennessee's B.A.S.S signature lakes. Conveniently located throughout Tennessee, there's a signature lake near you, covering all regions of the volunteer state, all endorsed by the legendary Bill Dance himself. Whether it's a weekend getaway or an extended vacation, create timeless memories at Tennessee's Bill Dance signature lakes. Plan your trip today.
Before there were hashtags, there were handshakes and shared stories. They gave us confidence to make our first cast and chase our dreams. They taught us to fish, and in the process, taught us about life. They taught us that success isn't just about reaching the top, it's about lifting others up. The future isn't just about selling tackle. It's about 3 simple words. Let's go fishing. Here's to the original influencers.
As a professional fisherman, every decision I make is to win.
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 The boat I drive,
baits I throw,
the gear I wear.
I do it to win.
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 Because when I'm on the water, I want to be the best.
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 That's why.
That's why.
And that's why.
That's why.
We wear the best.
Bass fishing fans, the ultimate destination for Bassmaster merchandise is here and better than ever with an all-new Bassmaster online store. From exclusive apparel to high-quality gear and accessories, we've got everything you need with prices to fit every budget. It's our new, more customer-friendly site with fast shipping and unbeatable quality. All kinds of items to give as gifts to the bass fishing fan in your life or stock up on options for yourself. The goods you need to elevate your bass fishing game and rep your Bassmaster pride. See Bassmaster.shop to check out the latest deals and hottest trends at the all-new Bassmaster online store.
The Sabine River, and it all comes down to this, our Yeti hot seat. And the guy who has comfortably sat in that Yeti hot seat since day number 1 in this tournament, trying to go wire to wire, Wisconsin's Pat Schlapper, a former Bass Nation national champion. And the question is, can any of the 9 other anglers competing against him chase him down? Had a great morning this morning, and he's been close before, been close in the state of Texas, but said he feels different here this week, and so far that is definitely playing out for Pat Schlapper. An amazing working man story here on the Elite Series. A former Shields fishing store manager, and now potentially an Elite Series champion. And guess what? Put another one in the boat.
Yesterday. He ain't gonna do anything, but we're gonna weigh him.
Looks like Schlapper's back in his original area where he kind of did the damage the first couple days.
it was a good one the way it bit because it just started swimming out of the stuff. It was a good one yesterday.
He's definitely making it hard on him today. You know, I mean, he's got a couple good ones. I mean, anything can happen here. There's no doubt. But he's making it hard on him. He's doing his job. There's no doubt.
Little creature bug.
Be hard to ask for much better of a start this morning than Pat had, but of course if he was able to do at this spot what he did the first 2 days and catch a 3+ pounder, I mean, that would really put the rest of the field in a very tough spot.
And it does seem like there's been some bigger bites late in the day every day. Yeah, it seems like that's kind of, there's been a little bit of a window. It's like a lull. You know, it's good in the morning, there's a lull, and then they start biting again. It seems like, you know, around noon.
From your tournament leader, let's head over to David Mullins, a former Bassmaster Open winner. Been in contention for Progressive Bassmaster Angler of the Year several times throughout his career. But the Sabine River has not been his friend.
I believe that'd be, how many we got in there? 4? I believe that's 5. I believe, I'm gonna be close. Ooh, just a little short. Look at that. Can't make that one go. That's right.
Seen a lot of measuring sticks the last couple weeks. Whole different end of the measuring stick this week.
David Mullins and cameraman Seth Doman have had quite the time on the water. We got to watch them a good bit on the live cast stream. They have covered a lot of ground as far as topics are concerned. Plenty of hunting.
I bet.
The most annoying birds in existence. That was a topic for a good while. It's been
Where did they settle out with that?
Some form of gull. Or then David Mullins, his opinion was a rooster that never shuts up.
Yeah,
so
strong.
Two good choices.
I'd go with the chickadee. Very full of itself. I mean, says its name repeatedly as its call. Very arrogant bird.
Yeah, this right here. Fishing isolated stuff.
Dakota, you want to weigh in on the most annoying bird?
And you usually get about 1 bass per.
Oh, I'll tell you what, them cormorants.
Yes.
Without a doubt. Like, they'll run an island, they smell up the whole place, they eat all the bait fish, and they're protected. So,
yeah.
I probably done made somebody mad over that.
No, nobody.
Stepped on somebody. Somebody got mad about that. But that bird is awful. Like, you can't get within 400 yards of one of them islands they take over and just decimate without gagging.
Yeah.
It's awful.
I agree.
I'm going with cormorant. See, David's targeting that isolated stuff off the bank too, you know, kind of like what it said Patrick seemed like he was doing. And, you know, I figured that would hold up, you know, like kind of.
A lot of multiple bite fish here this week.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like one.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll get a few shots at it.
It seemed like even when you were going down the bank, you know, you get a bite. 50 yards later, you get another bite. You go 300 yards, not get a bite, and you get a couple, you know. So it seemed like they were in certain little areas. And I think there's some current in there, you know, especially with all the water that from them opening locks, letting us in and stuff. So it's setting them up, you know, on those little pieces of hardcover that are off the bank. It's setting them up on certain banks where they're cut more, you know, where, you know, points of transition and stuff like that. So there's definitely things that are holding them to certain areas. They're really feeding on crawfish here. That was kind of, I feel like, their main forage over there, it seemed like, because Easton and I both had crawfish on a live well every day. So the cut banks were key. So little isolated targets off the bank obviously are playing a bunch. But there's definitely some current over there too. I think that's setting these fish up to be in certain areas.
First semifinal Saturday here this week, so you check that box off. You got 3 events ahead in the Elite Series. What one are you looking forward to the most?
The next one. I mean, I'm looking forward to all 3 of them, obviously. I got 3 more opportunities to do well this year in the Elite Series, so I'm trying to maximize my opportunities that I got. I don't even know if the Classic is attainable. I don't know when I'm in, like 70th in points, somewhere around there, but if I win all 3 of those, then maybe I'll have a shot. I don't know. You know, I mean, what else?
Well, remember, the final event is winning you're in.
Is it?
Lacrosse. You win lacrosse.
I didn't
you
know
go to
that.
the Bassmaster Classic.
Is that a deal? That's
yeah.
what I'm looking forward to. I didn't know that.
I host a show that's called Officially Unofficial, and most things I say are officially unofficial, but that's always been the case, the final Elite Series event. So you can do that or look at our Dakota Lithium Rookie of the Year race. And here's a compliment to you. You've accomplished so much in your career, you can't even compete to be a rookie this year.
Yep. But
which is a good thing.
It's just funny, though, that even after, the last, 10 years of my career, how blessed I've been, everybody still has those tough years, and it doesn't seem like maybe I'm doing so much wrong, is that it's just one that you just get out of groove, but it's been a blessing this year on the Elites. I've really enjoyed it and looking forward to the next 3.
You get back in that groove. You were in your groove here last night, I heard. Was there dancing?
There was some dancing. It wasn't me, but it was some dancing.
That's not what I heard.
What a time to be live. Humminbird's new Mega Live 2 forward-facing sonar is your front row seat to every epic catch, unfolding as it happens with more clarity than ever before. Decipher between dinks and diamonds in the brush. Choose between 15 color palettes